I'm Janet, and I feel a little bit like Madonna. This is my first video, and I am wanting to offer, just a platform so that I can share this amazing practice of yoga with others and connect with each of you while you are away, and most importantly, so that you can have consistency in your practice and always be learning. So today we're going to focus on the wrists. This is just going to be a short little one, 5 minutes or so. If you have a sort of modern postural yoga practice, a vinyasa or flow, go to a modern yoga studio, you'll most likely be spending a lot of time on your wrists, especially in downward facing dog, upward facing dog. A lot of the modern vinyasa practices originate in downward facing dog. And, as humans, we just don't spend time on our hands. We're built to walk on our feet. So it's really important to, one, keep the wrists nice and healthy, protected, also to warm them up if you are going to be doing any sort of inversion practice, arm balancing, handstands, even wheel pose or weight bearing on the wrists while the wrists are, flexing. And it's just a really important thing to focus on. Also, if you're at a desk and you type a lot, or if you're texting, you feel that RSI kick in. So I'll just take you through a little wrist warm-up exercise. So we're going to start by taking the backs of the hands together and spread your fingers, and we'll just make almost like a little lotus flower. So you're circling. So if you're keeping the fingers nice and spread. So really simple. Glad starting without the weight bearing to begin. Good. And then you'll reverse. And this is also like a really nice slow way to start your practice, right? If you just need a little bit of time to get into it, right? This sort of work can be a little bit tedious and a bit slow going, but it can be very mindful and very meditative as you go through it slowly and really thoughtfully. Great. And then this one I really like. We're going to take one finger and pull it back. Good. Take ring finger, pull it back, and then you can press through the heel of the hand. Good. Middle finger, press through the heel of the hand and get a nice stretch all down the forearm. Good. Pointer finger. Good. And the thumb. Good. Pinky finger. Ring finger. You can linger where you feel that sensation, right? Giving it a moment, right, to notice it and to let it dissipate. And the thumb. Thumb's so important because we tend to get a lot of pressure right in this inner wrist area that we tend to collapse in. We're going to move on to hands and knees. And we'll just start with a simple cat-cow. So always important to spread the fingers. And then inhale, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. And exhale, round the spine. Now draw the navel in, release the back of the neck. Good. Inhale, lift through the chest. And exhale, round the spine. Allow the shoulder blades to spread. And the back of the neck elongate. Good. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And then you'll just come back to neutral and take a few circles. Good. Just starting to get a little bit more weight throughout the whole hand, all the fingers. Good. And then switching directions. Moving nice and slow. Nothing to rush. It's a good time to just start Bring it into your breath as well. Right. And then we're going to start to do a little bit more where we lift the palms, but we spread through the fingers and the fingers stay down. Okay, so you inhale, lift, exhale, release. Lift and release. So just the heel of the hand is lifting and you're flexing just at that first knuckle. And so lift and lower, lift and lower. And this will start to get really fiery. Good, you can continue to move and you want to keep the elbows straight and the shoulder girdle really stable. So you're not going up and down through the shoulders. It all is just happening from the first knuckle. And you can do this by turning the hands out. All right, and you can always get creative by just switching the direction. And as you start to learn your strengths and weaknesses, you'll learn what you specifically need, what you need to strengthen, what you need to lengthen, what you need to stabilize. Good, turning the palms a little bit in, same thing, just lifting the heel of the hand. And I can totally feel this. My forearms are basically on fire. So to make this easier, you just walk the knees in, same thing, and there'll be less weight, less load. But to make it harder, if you're quite strong in the forearms, you take the knees back and you lift. And this is really hard for me. If you can do this in plank, you're amazing. Champion. But you want to make sure that you're in a place where you can sustain it and you're also lifting both hands at the same time. So you're not lifting one and then the other. It's valuable, but it's just a little bit less weight when you're doing it that way. Good. And then sometimes I like to just take a break and just take a few little circles here and there. Good. And then I'm just going to take the fingers back and take a nice stretch. So any amount you can bend into your knees, sitting the hips back, and this might be enough for you. You might go a little bit more. And you can add, you can do cat-cows from here. As you practice more, you'll just get more creative and figure out what feels good. And it's really this search for something that's interesting, right? Maybe something new, interesting. Try not to labeling it too much, but just feeling into that sensation. So experiencing the sensation, not attaching to, but experiencing. Good. You can do the same thing. Fingers back so you're on the tops of the palms, if that feels good. And just notice if you get any pressure wherever you are. Great. And then you'll release. Moving into one of my favorites. It's a little bit of a double whammy. So this is a really good one where you can turn this into a balance as well. If you need more stability, keep the knees down. I have my toes fully tucked under, especially the pinky toe. Right. And then lift the knees. Good. Squeeze the knees together. Squeeze the feet together. And then lift up through the pelvic floor like you're trying to hold your pee in. Good. And then reach your arms forward, but plug the shoulders back. So the shoulders are free. And then you start to flick. All right. So like you're flicking water away. And then you notice, bringing your attention back into your legs and your pelvic floor. So while the focus might be the wrists and the forearms and the arms warming up, you still have a sensitivity to everything else that's going on in the body. Yeah. And you flick, flick, flick until you feel that pulsing. Good. And then you're going to grab. So the opposite. Rawr. Honk, honk, honk. I get a little bit, I don't know, this makes me feel a little bit primal when I do this. Yeah, so you just grab. So a little bit different, right? Using different muscles. And then do the same thing above your head. So you flick, and it's really important. Keep the arms straight. Draw the belly in. Draw the pelvic floor in. Good. So as you straighten the arms, you're also warming up the shoulders. And flick, flick, flick. I can just feel this. It's like that sensation. I'm just like starting to feel the sweat come out of my forehead. Like one pore at a time. Good. And then grab. Good. And so this is really good for the ankles and the feet and the wrists. Good. Grab, 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 grab. And then out in front of you, palms face up. This will be the last one. At this point, your forearms should be on fire. Good. Flick, 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 flick. And then grab. Last one. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just shake it out. Untuck the toes. Whatever feels good. And so we're moving to a little stretch here to stretch the backs of the forearm. So you'll make little fists here and press your knuckles together. So you can see that they are glued together. They're not going to peel apart. You press the tops of the hands down and then press away. And you work to keep the backs of the palms down, knuckles gluing together, and then work the arms towards straight, any amount. And you may feel this, in one forearm more than the other. And there's nothing right or wrong. It's just information. It's just your body giving you feedback as you, create that awareness. Good. And then release. Good. So your forearm should be quite warm, and you can then move into maybe some more prepping for arm balancing or handstand. And then one thing that I just think feels really good as well is a little bit of a massage. So this might be at the end of your practice or when you need a little break, when things feel really intense and you just need to back off, or in between repetitions. For this one, you'll come into a squat, good, like this. But from the side, I'll take my arms out towards the side, and then I take my elbows behind my knees, and my forearms are going to come into my knee creases, and then I sit into the squat. And so you just squeeze side to side and up and down the forearms. You start to give it just like a nice little self-massage. And you can do this for a while. Do this for a couple minutes. I love this one. This might be a little bit much if you're not as comfortable in the yogi squat or malasana, this posture with the legs. So if that feels a little bit, just not accessible. Another one that you can do is taking the back of the forearm down onto the mat. And you can use like a lacrosse ball or one of those sort of trigger point massage balls. Or I like to just use my knee. So I'm just slowly putting weight into the forearm, or I should say into my knee, pressing down just a little bit at a time. And then other arm. And try to it's really hard for me to straighten my fingers when I do that. So it's nice to just explore what happens when you do different stuff. Great. So there are some wrist warm-ups and stretches for you to just feel a little bit more stable and ready for your vinyasa practice, and to take away maybe a little bit of pain if you feel that from your day work, your desk job, RSI, or simply just from your practice. A little bit of relief. So enjoy. See you guys.